Hello, hello, hello. All easy questions today, please. All easy questions.
Just the definition of team leader to come out on a day like this and take one for
Best way I can serve my team. Don't all
Doug,
start at once. Yes, sir.
how's Tyler Lockett looking? What's it like to get him back out there with you guys?
He's doing extremely well. I'm excited for his progress. Physically, we all knew that he was going to be okay, but I think mentally, just the toll that injuries take on competitive athletes, he's done a great job of battling himself in terms of getting right and being prepared for his opportunities.
Now that camp's a week old, the young receivers in that room,
The first and foremost thing that always stood out to me, even during OTAs and minicamp, was just how willing they were to come out and work. You know, they weren't divas. They didn't act like they were entitled to anything. They knew that they had to compete against not only the guys in the room with us, but also against the defensive backs. They have done an excellent job up to this point of doing that.
Doug, overall team first week compared to years past, are they all the same? Is this different? How would you evaluate the first week?
No, we're always getting better. We're always finding ways to improve. I think that this year, we kind of found our, I don't want to say edge, but we got some motivation. We had a lot of stuff happen in the off season, and we couldn't wait to get back to the locker room and kind of formulate our family, our tribe again, if you will, and just put our heads down and get to work.
As a leader, how damaging is what happened with Freddie and Clark the other day? Did you address the team on that?
No, I mean you have your conversations. It's we play a very violent sport, and sometimes it leads to a lot of emotion, a lot of testosterone getting built up, and it comes out in various ways, and we handle that accordingly in-house.
You mentioned the off-season and everyone getting back. What effect did kind of, I don't know if you want to call it dramatic or what, off-season had on the culture or the feeling around the team now that everyone's back here?
I think it just reinvigorated us to get back here. There's obviously everybody being in their separate areas, separate states, cities, whatever it may be. You don't really have that face-to-face interaction and conversations that we have on a day-to-day basis for 12 hours during camp. Now that we're here, you can have those conversations. You can feel each other. You get the depth of the relationships, and we build upon that. And so all the issues that may or may not have been true, during the off season, they get resolved in the locker room.
Did you guys need to clear some air?
No, I don't think any air needed to be cleared. I think, when whatever happened during the off season came out, we had our conversations. It was resolved rather quickly, and then again, just couldn't wait to get back here to the facility to get to work.
What have you seen from Russell since then?
He's a professional. I can't really say, you can't talk highly enough about the way that he prepares himself, the things that he does to get himself ready day in and day out, season in, season out. He's just a consummate pro, and it's no different this year. Coming in, being lighter than he has been in the past. We always made fun of him, how he sometimes looks a little chubby. Comes with old age, but he's done a great job of coming in this camp, I think, more prepared than he has been in the past.
How surprised were you that you guys brought in Kaepernick and didn't sign him?
Surprised? I don't know. I haven't really followed that. I didn't follow that situation that closely at that time. I knew that we were going to bring him in, and as we always do, that's what our team does. We're very methodical and strategic about everybody that we bring in, making sure that we're up and aware of all the available assets that are out there. So I wasn't surprised about that.
What do you think about the fact that he hasn't been signed yet?
My original position was I thought that the situation last year with him taking a knee didn't have anything to do with it, and after viewing what's going on, I got to take that back. I definitely think that the league, the owners, are trying to send a message of stay in between the lines, and it's frustrating because you want to have guys who are willing to speak out about things that they believe in, whether you agree with it or not. But I think that's definitely playing a role now, more so than I thought it was going to.
Why is your opinion on that change?
Why is my opinion on that changed? I think if you take a step back and you look at the overall picture, there's a lot of teams in this league that could use a quarterback of Colin Kaepernick's ability. And why he doesn't have a job is, at this point, it's very telling to me. He's a very capable player. And again, there's a lot of teams out there that need quarterbacks, whether they're starting quarterback or a backup caliber quarterback. And the fact that he hasn't been brought into camp yet, it's questionable.
Tyler, are you guys different? I mean, have you ever felt like Paul Allen or anybody here has muted any of your players?
No, absolutely not. I know that we've had conversations about, how we want to get our message across and the things that we want to say, but they've never told us that you can't say anything. They just want to make sure that we're careful about how we say it so that we are getting our message across. And so, I've never had a problem with Paul Allen, with Pete, with John, any of these guys. They've always been very respectful, very transparent, very open, and very encouraging for us to speak our minds.
Feels like that's different. Maybe other teams aren't that way, or...
Well, I can't speak for other teams. I've only been here my 7 years in the NFL, but I've heard that it is different in other places. So I can't speak on those places, but I know that our organization is very encouraging in that regard.
Are you still involved talking to police?
Absolutely.
How much progress have you made doing that? And what's the situation like now with you doing that?
Yeah, so it's been a very busy process. We felt like we gained some ground, and then with the new administration, the federal administration that came in, you kind of get some setbacks, different mindsets, and it's a battle. It's a constant battle, and it can be exhausting at times. But somebody's got to do it, and fortunately enough, we've got some great connections that we've been able to support and help out in any regard, and so we're going to continue that as long as we can.
When's the last time you had a sit down or meeting with someone?
A couple days ago, actually. Yeah, 2 or 3 days ago.
So when you say Kaepernick should obviously be in the league, a lot of people will look at this team and say you could at least use some competition at the backup spot. Have you gone to anyone at higher ranks in the organization and said, what's the deal, what's the reasoning at least of why we did not sign this guy?
In our organization?
Yeah.
No. At this time, I'm focused on the receiving core and myself. I'm trying to do the best that I can in serving my team in that regard. Pete and John have their own job to do, and that's not my job. So I'm sticking to what I have to do in order for us to be successful this season right now.
You've had the same core around Pete now for so many years. Is he doing anything different, changing anything up to make sure his message is still getting across to you guys?
No, he's still as consistent as can be. But he does allow the older guys to come and communicate with him in ways that we think that he can reach the younger guys in a more efficient manner. And he's been very open and honest with us about the things that he's trying to do. And I think that speaks volumes about the type of person that Pete is, the humility that he has, and the willingness to be vulnerable with his players, because he knows ultimately our goal is to be successful just like his goal is to be successful. And so when we have that unified perception and a unified goal, it makes it a lot easier for us to have a close bond and relationship.
We've had some good battles with Earl, and so far, it's probably nothing to do. But how much do you like going against him and doing vacation?
I don't think any competitor would say that, they don't like going up against any other competitor. And Earl and I are no different. I absolutely, I love the opportunity to go against Earl because he brings out the best in everybody that's around him and also the competition, And so when you step up against Earl Thomas, you know that's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and my job is to embarrass him every time that I get a chance to do so, and which is quite often. And, we go back and forth because we're just, all we can think about in that moment is winning our one-on-one battle. And there's nobody better in that regard in the league, I think, in terms of when it comes to winning your one-on-one battle and the mindset that you have to have. There's nobody better in the league than Earl Thomas.
Does he say anything to you when you had your wrapped up in that?
Yeah, he said that was the closest he ever came to cover me. I still won, though, so it didn't really matter.
What did he really say?
Nothing. He didn't say anything. He just gave me a hug.
Going back to Tyler, how much did you see him and talk to him when he was going through the surgery and the rehab and all that?
We stayed in contact pretty regularly. I kind of wanted to stay away from him a little bit just because I wanted him to. He has to do his own thing. I think that it's very hard for the media and the fans to really understand what it means to go through an injury as significant as Tyler went through. it's not so much the physical part of it; it's the mental part of it, you know. And he had to get through his battles, and he's been through some major battles mentally. And I just wanted to be there for him whenever he needed some support, some encouragement. All of us in the receivers room, we wanted to be there for him, and he's done a tremendous job, like I said earlier, of navigating through those battles. And we were there for him whenever he needed us.
Doug, earlier this week, it looked like Chris Carson had a nice touchdown run, and you were kind of fired up, congratulating him afterwards. Just what have you seen?
No, I wasn't congratulating him. No. He was a little tired, and he waited for somebody else to come in to get his reps. And I told him bluntly, I said, get your ass back in there. You know, if you want to be part of our tribe, if you want to be part of this organization, you got to be a little bit tougher than that. Not to say that he's not tough. You know, he is a very tough, and honestly, he's probably my favorite rookie out of the bunch right now. He's done a tremendous job. But as somebody who's been there and done that, who's gone through this process, you know, I just trying to egg him on to do a little bit more every time that he has the ability to do so.
That's some of the stuff Marshawn did with you guys.
Absolutely. Marshawn was notorious for that. You know, never letting anybody be complacent or be relaxed or be satisfied with their production. He always asked for more. You know, and granted, the reason why people respected him is because he always gave more. You know, and so that definitely started with Marshawn. I think definitely when I was here, my first year, he did that to me. So, you know, we all try to replicate that as best we can.
Why is Chris?
He just has all the tools. You know, I think to me, he's probably the most polished of any rookie at that position that I've ever seen. He has all the tools in his tool bag, and he just has to put it all together. You know, and he is mature. He has the right mindset. He has the work ethic. But you know, when you see something like that, you don't want them to miss the opportunity. And so we stay on him because we know the potential that he has. But again, the potential means nothing if you don't put it in motion.
Anything else?
Yep, no problem, guys. Thank you.